Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, taking a second look at the Hawker Hunter, which is the Tier 10 British multi-role aircraft, and this aircraft's real claim to fame is going to be the 32 rockets, which are completely unique to this platform as they launch in volleys of 4, which is nice for air to ground, and you can use them for air to air fairly effectively. I do have a Rocketeer on this aircraft to give it that little bump, and it also sports 4 30mm Aiden cannons mounted right underneath the nose right there. Pretty nice, solid hitting guns, and really I use this aircraft much like I would a P228. It's more maneuverable, it has really good acceleration, and despite the fact that we're in the yellow right now, you can see the aircraft is performing just fine. Has no issues accelerating because this thing's all engine and has tons of power to spare. Speaking of rockets, despite the fact that that Hornet just rammed me, one of the things I don't like is this visual glitch where the rockets are launching from the top of the rack instead of the bottom of the rack. I don't know why they did this, but every time you launch a volley, the thing just looks dumber and dumber. Wish they'd fix that. But it's added to the list, right? So one of the things this is really good at is actually taking out some of these ground attackers just because of the overwhelming power of the guns and the fact that these guys aren't moving very quick. One. Almost. Yep, looks like time took care of that one. Thank you for the zone. Let's go ahead and climb. Like I said, the aircraft is all engines, so tons of power on it, really good roll. We do have a little bit into some maneuverability traits on this airframe because I wanted to be able to use it like this. And so far it has not disappointed. Looks like we've already got all the offensive zones. Now we're just kind of in defense, waiting for these ground attackers to keep coming into the site, and we'll keep countering. On this map, I feel as though the military base is the most important just because it's giving you instant return on investment opposed to a command center, which for a command center you really have to wait for the bombers to get to their target, and if they take too long, people can shoot them down, but you can't shoot down a missile. Yes, it's nice to have the distraction of bombers for the enemy to have to try and shoot down, but this is more of an immediate payout. Alright, when shooting fish in a barrel, let's see if we get some more time. Every time we kill them, they get a longer respawn. Sometimes I forget about that and I feel like I'm just stuck in an endless loop.
Air supremacy achieved.
All right. It's all about them
Victory
angles.
is in sight. Keep it up.
You AFK, man? I think I've played it with him on quite a few occasions, and he seems to always be AFK. Yeah, he's got some points, but I don't know. He'll get a few points, but then I don't see him doing much. I don't know what's going on. And every time I've seen him, he's been flying in a straight line. But
we'll be waiting for you back home.
wow, okay, we just trounced him on that one. That was pretty obvious though. But I think that highlights the Rocketeer capability and how I use the cannons very much like a 228. And as you can see, the thing doesn't even care about altitudes. The thing will climb up there all day. So don't be distracted by the idea that it says, hey, you're not supposed to be up here, sir. But you can totally get there. And I think you guys have probably learned that from flying the Seahawk, if anybody's got that it can operate at higher altitudes than advertised. Not in the same way this thing can, but well enough. It really does just have an absolute immense amount of power behind it. So the way we've kitted this aircraft out, we've actually gone for adding a full balanced mix here, right? We've got improved uprated engine to give a little bit more oomph on the power. We gave it improved lightweight wing frame to give it a little bit more maneuverability, and obviously we want gyroscopic gun sights because we want those guns on target. I have opted for going with the engine cooling because I want the power available when I need it. If I put in the restarter, I feel as though in this aircraft, I don't feel like I get the engine knocked out that much. And if I did, it's because I couldn't get away from the enemies. So this allows me to be able to get this thing really cooking. When it comes to the pilot skills, we have opted for aerodynamic expert because 40% boost for maneuverability and engine mods, absolutely. Go ahead, or I'm going to throw that on here for the equipment rather. And then the firefighter, put out fires on its own, excellent. That allows me to carry a med kit. All we got to do is make a hard roll maneuver and it puts that fire out pretty quick. Increase the engine thrust, absolutely. We want this thing to be faster. We want it to be able to get up to higher altitudes, and this really does it. And then Marksman 1, because despite the fact that these are center mounted, I threw this on here after a bunch of testing, and I did note a little bit more consistency on the guns. So maybe it's just confirmation bias, but I prefer it. Then looking at the Rocketeer here, you guys saw how that paid dividends. It allows the rockets to actually kind of get like a proximity detonation off of them. So it's a nice little bump. And when we look at these rockets themselves, how do they actually behave? Well, you're looking at only 600 damage each, but you're launching volleys of 4. So you're kind of making the choice here. What they did is they said, hey, would you rather have big oomph with one rocket at a time, or would you rather just diversify that into 4 separate smaller rockets? And that's what this is. It's allowing you to be able to shotgun out the same amount of explosive in a blast. So it's kind of like having a multiple re-entry version of a ballistic missile opposed to just a single warhead that's a little bit bigger. So I do enjoy this, and the versatility of being able to use it and in the air-to-air mode is very awesome. I've enjoyed it for sure. Now you can throw on the bombs, but I feel like with 120-second regen on the bombs and the loss of airspeed that comes from that, yeah, sure, it's an extra 10,000 damage against ground targets, but who really cares? Yeah, sure, I could drop these on something if I wanted to, but really, I think the bang for the buck's going to come from the rockets. You can always use them. I'm almost always launching these things, getting them off the wings, but the bombs, they just produced too much drag and prevented me from having the versatility to climb up to those higher altitudes and use this thing like a pseudo heavy fighters. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're grinding for this thing, it is well worth it. Right now it's one of my favorite tier 10s, if not the favorite tier 10. The XF90 and this one are kind of in a head-to-head match against each other, but this one is new hotness and I'm really loving it. Alright, I'll check you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoy the video.
Until it's over.